What's up, everybody? Another week, another 2 weeks in the book. We missed an episode due to Thanksgiving. We just couldn't get together. It wasn't happening, guys. Sorry, but we're the well-mannered cartel. I'm Tom. I'm joined by Mike, Marlon, and Jose stepping in for Chris tonight. Another week in the book of Super Liga. We have some teams that have been eliminated from playoff contention. Mike, myself. We're gonna skip over last 2 weeks ago. We're gonna go over the week 12 results. We'll start off with Gulon Santo. He got the dub, 165 over the Ladyboys, 159. Marlon,
narrow victory, bro.
Yeah, it was a good one. We were talking about this a little bit before. Dude, I was dreading it because it was like I got bit by the COVID bug and buys, and I was scrambling. So at the very last minute, I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna put Tyrod Taylor because I figured that he's gonna have a better game than Bridgewater, because they're up against the Jets. So I put him in, and then Amari's out. Then they got what's his face? Kamara's out. And I've got like no other options. So I talk about Dontrell Hilliard. I was thinking, okay, so Deonta Foreman hasn't been doing great, and obviously Derrick Henry's out. They're up against they're the team. They're one of like the top rushing teams, if not the highest like rushing attempt team out there. So I figured, out of desperation, let me pick him up. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that they have a good game. And by golly, he did. And so did Cedric Wilson, and so did Cordero Patterson. And it was just like boom. But I mean, it was on Thursday, the Bears game where Roquan Smith got injured against Detroit, which I thought was going to be like a big scoring game for him. So right off the bat, I was at a huge deficit against the Ladyboys.
Yeah.
Thank my lucky stars that Joe Burrow didn't have a good. He had a burro instead of a burro day. And really for him, just Jalen Waddle was the only guy that put up monster points. Well, also Antonio Gibson. Yeah. Antonio Gibson. But that was a nail biter, dude. When he hit that bonus, because Antonio Gibson, they played on Monday. It was the last game. And I was like, when he hit that bonus, I was like, holy shit, dude, I'm like 10 points away, because by that time, all my players had played. And I was like, okay, I'm in the lead now. I had overcome this huge, massive mountain against me. And I got super lucky. And then he scored that bonus, and it put him at 33 points. And I was like, holy shit, dude, like this guy just needs to get like a touchdown more or have a few big yard plays. But luckily he stayed there.
I'm just looking at you. I mean, you kind of just all I can say is, Marlon, you got pretty lucky, right? You made those moves and they just panned out, man. And even Tyrod had a decent performance as well. And you scored 165 points, and that's with Kittle, giving you 2.3, dude. So like you said, Wilson and Hilliard, man, they balled out. And of course, Cordero Patterson has had a bunch of those monster games that he had this week too. So, I mean, that was great, dude, to see from your squad. And you look at Ladyboys, man, he had a great score, man. I mean, it wasn't, close to 200, but 159 isn't bad at all. But I think Jonathan Taylor, he's used to having, like last week or 2 weeks ago, he didn't have like that 60-point game or whatever. And then he's been on fire this season. So 19.7 from Jonathan Taylor is just like, it's
below expectations.
Below expectations for him at this point. And Burrow 17.4, not terrible, man, but for this game he probably needed to do more. And then Elijah Moore 9.3. Pitts still kind of struggling a little bit with 7.6. Miles Sanders at the flex position, 7.4. And then Antonio Gibson, of course, had a great game with 34 points. But I think overall, Marlon, you made some changes for this game, and they just worked out for you.
Yeah, man. I had to pivot quickly. I picked Cedric Wilson the week before because that's when Amari got the COVID designation. But I don't think I played him. Can't remember. But anyway, so yeah, I came out with the win. I got really lucky that everything panned out for me, despite the.
And this was a massive matchup in the division. I think you guys, you guys had the same record last week, I think, and for you to go get a leg up on him is huge, dude, because every week counts, and this was one of those weeks where playoff implications are at stake, and you got the job done. And so Culon Santos 7-5 now. The Bangkok Lady Boys are 6-6 at 500. He needs some shit to go his way. He needs to win this week for sure to keep his dream alive. The next matchup we're looking at is Dem Lions 115, but Vino Papi gets the win with 140 points. Jose, this was your matchup.
Are you talking, Jose?
Hey,
I can't hear you.
Are you on mute, bro?
Is that better?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, man. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I just got lucky that Dem Lions just didn't put up a score this week because he's been putting up, pretty decent points all.
115 has to be like one of his all-time low scores.
Yeah. I got bailed out with Josh Allen, which sounds crazy to say, but I mean, because he had a shitty first half.
Yeah, the week before also, right?
Yeah. And so if it wasn't for that second half and a couple of he just really came out guns blazing, through 3 touchdowns in the second half. One of those was to Diggs, who I also have, which also helped. It did not help that I had Waller, who got hurt. Probably, I think it was like towards the end of the first quarter. I think so. I think he got those few. I think it was only 2 receptions, I think, and then after that he was out for pretty much the end of the game. So that really made me nervous. And then I mean, I got lucky that I put in Javonte Williams. He kind of helped and he performed really well because I think Gordon kind of got hurt. I think in the first or second play I think that he was in. So he put up some good points that made me feel a little bit more comfortable. But if you think about it, man, just with how our league's been going, man, 140 isn't anything crazy.
Yeah, I think
what I mean?
Although this is a very low scoring week, man. Very low scoring. And I mean, I think we've had a few of those the last few weeks, and that's due to buys and injuries. And just it's been a weird NFL season in general.
Yeah. So in short, man, I really just got lucky that Dem Lions just didn't put up Dem Lions points. I mean, look, Aaron Jones.
If you look at his bench, man, look you probably wouldn't have done this. Nobody would have. Hindsight, right? 2020, but if he would have started Carson Wentz and Deshaun Jackson, he would have beaten you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, on his bench.
Then again,
Carson Wentz had 36 points and Deshaun Jackson had 32 points. But he's been rolling with Carson Wentz throughout the year, man. I guess he just felt more comfortable with Cousins this week, and it just didn't work out for him. And this was a big victory for you, Jose. You keep your playoff hopes alive. I know you're 5-7, and you definitely need some chips to fall your way. I think it's 3 in particular to fall your way. And if one of those doesn't, then you're out. But this keep it alive with this victory. You are now 5-7, and Dem Lions falls to 7-5. Dem Lions is sitting pretty. He's going to make the playoffs. The next matchup we're looking at is the Flint Tropics 208, the Gridiron Throne 143. And before I hand it over to Mike, I was just saying before the show, me and Mike were talking. I'm just like, I see Flint's roster and I'm never excited about it, but he just gets it done, dude, and he got it done this week.
Yeah. So last couple of weeks I've needed many chips to fall my way in order to keep my playoff hopes alive, and those chips were falling my way, but the one chip that didn't fall my way this week was that I lost, so that ended my playoff hopes. Not much to say. Anybody who puts up 200 plus points is pretty,
especially at this part of the season,
is pretty favored to win. So I had some decent performances. Joe Mixon has been like a highlight on my roster since I made the trade for him with Eton. Deebo Samuel has been another highlight. He got injured this week, and Tom Brady really shit the bed for me. He had a really rough week. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a sign of things to come, but I mean, it's Tom Brady, so you can never really count him out. But yeah, other than that, it was just very, very, very pedestrian week for my team. So
it's crazy. I see players on your team that were on my team, and then I see players on other teams that were on my team before, and they're just like they're playing really well right now, and I really could have used them.
Yeah.
Right now, but yeah, dude.
Also, I picked up. So I was like super excited to because I've struggled with my defenses all season. Like I've had maybe like 4 points from my defense, every game, and so I was really excited to pick up the Texans because they were going up against the Jets, and the Jets quarterback situation this week was going to be, or last week was going to be a big question mark with COVID and all that. So I thought if there was a week for the Texans defense to go off, it would have been this week, and they didn't really go off this week. Like I would have been better off putting in the Broncos, who I had on my bench.
I think it was
10 more points. So
that was mostly due to the fact of they allowed 21 points, but otherwise, I mean they forced some turnovers, they had some sacks. I think the Texans actually, I saw this the other day, they lead the league in interceptions, which is crazy. But yeah, dude, just unfortunate. I think you look at Flint, and I don't, he had a major score from Dak Prescott with 41.3. But other than that, you had no other like monster scores. Gallup had 26, and Mooney had 20. Mooney had 28.5.
Yeah, game of the season for him.
For sure. Well, Jose got murked. I mean, yeah, you got murked by Mooney a couple weeks ago, didn't you, Jose?
Oh yeah, same thing. It was actually two. It was also 2 Flint. So
I think just the main, the main factor here was just Flint's guys just came out, and they performed pretty well except for Noah Fant. He had 4.2, but the rest of his squad played well. And I think you just had some holes there with some of your players, Mike, that they just didn't come out and didn't perform. And I think that's why Flint Tropics, you look at it, you see one major, 41 point score from one of his players, and the rest of the guys were just like, they did well. And he got over the hump with 208 points. So yeah, Flint, man, like I said earlier, he's just getting it done. He moves on to 7-5. Mike, I'm not sure if there's a chance for you to make the playoffs anymore at 5-7.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
because there's only one game. I could, at best, I'd end up with a 6-7.
Because it goes to head, and I think the head,
yeah,
you lost. It would be like
many of them.
or points. So it's we're down there in the cellar together, man. We're cellar brothers, bro. The next matchup we're looking at is the Bad Hombres. Chris, who's not here, 131. He loses to the Muff Vipers at 160. Man, the Muff Vipers they were on a really long losing streak.
Yeah, dude,
they were able to pull this one out against Chris.
They played spoiler a little bit this week, dude, because Chris was in the hunt,
Definitely, and he still is.
He still is, but this might have been the nail.
We'll talk about it a little bit later, but basically, if Chris wins this week against Golden Dragons, whoever wins that matchup is in. So it's such a it would be it's going to be interesting to say the least. Yeah. But yeah, man, his team kind of underperformed. Stafford had 42. McCaffrey went out. He's obviously out for the year, so that's a huge blow to Chris. And maybe that's what you were alluding to, Mike. That he was in the hunt, but he still has a shot. And then Arnold went out injured as well, so he only had 1.9 this week. And you're not DJ Moore had 28.3, so he had Matt Stafford score 42 and DJ Moore scored 28, and then everybody else on his team kind of stunk it up, right?
Yeah,
you hate to see that. You hate to see when that happens. Like, you have a monster showing by one player, and then everybody else, kind of.
Yeah, definitely, just kind of underperforms. And then you look at Muff Viper's squad. Herbert had a pretty good game with 32 points. Saquon only had 9.3. Jamar Chase only had 6.8. So you're looking at these, and you're just like, well, how did he score 160? Leonard Fournette had 54 points. That's how.
That was insane, dude.
Yeah.
And he just barely hit that bonus.
Yeah, right on the nail on the head, 100 yards even. But he had 3 touchdowns also on the ground and then 1 receiving. So huge game for Leonard Fournette. And then the Steelers actually goosed Chris as well, so not helping him there. So yeah, man, it actually was a closer game than it looks like, when you look at the score, just due to bonuses, and
those bonuses make a lot of difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 bonuses, and then Chris's 2 injuries, and
absolutely, man. So
the Steelers having the worst game since, what'd you tell me, Tom? Since like 19.
Yeah, so the Steelers hadn't lost that bad to the Bengals since like early 1980s, man. I'm not gonna butcher the year, but yeah, the early 1980s.
Yeah.
It was rough. I know Golden Dragons was there in attendance. It's got to hurt you, bro. You were there to witness it as a Steelers fan, but you know, hey man, it happens. I'm a Texan fan, or I was a Texan fan.
I was.
So I know
I've seen exactly 2 Texans games all season, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, dude, their front office is garbage. But anyways, man, Muff Vipers playing spoiler a little bit here potentially and he moves on to 5-7. Bad Hombres goes down to 6-6, so he's at 500. But he has a huge matchup this week, and we'll talk about that in a bit. The next matchup we're looking at is over easy 150. The Golden Dragons 174. So Golden Dragons, man, he's still fighting.
Yeah. Monster game from Aaron Rodgers, COVID toe and all.
COVID toe.
COVID toe and all. And then his receiver, I'm not familiar with this guy, Cade Bourne. He put up 26 points, which is pretty great.
Jason's
Kendrick
brother.
Bourne. Yeah, he had a great game.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Mac Jones has been killing it for the Patriots, and it's some of those catches where he was doing really, really well. I mean, he was literally tiptoeing on the sidelines with all the yards and stuff that he gained. Ended up with 2 touchdowns as well.
Yeah.
With only 5 out of 6 receptions. So
and then Austin Eckler put up another 22 points for him. Other than that, like everyone else on his team was somewhat mediocre, I would say. But Haley's team.
Godwin 3.7, Gesicki 4.7, Chubb 5.9. That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, over easy's still looking solid. She's the 1 seed right now. She's been the 1 seed for a long time. Golden Dragons did get the sweep. I know he was very excited about it. He posted about it in the league. Hey man, if fantasy football can bring you joy, that's awesome. It's tis the season.
Tis the season.
Over easy 8-4, Golden Dragons 6-6. He's going up against Bad Hombres. We'll talk about that again. Huge matchup winner. This is basically a playoff game. This is essentially a playoff game. Yeah. We'll get into that in a bit. The next matchup we're looking at is the Fart Hounds. The Stinky Pups were really stinky with 122. The Chimps 139. That was my game, and my season kind of just crumbled, man. It crumbled this week. I still had a shot. I worked out I did the math before last week's games, and there was a way for me to make the playoffs. If there were, like multiple 6 and 7 teams, I would have made it just based off of points and the head-to-head matchups. But it didn't work out for me at all. That was still it
wasn't to be.
I don't know what the percentage was, or the odds of me making it, but there was a chance. Now there obviously isn't. Lamar Jackson, dude, pedestrian game 7.4. DeAndre Swift got hurt very early on in the game. He only gave me 3.9. And after that, those are 2 huge guys on my squad. After that happens, it's just like you need someone to just break out in a massive way. And although I had Devontae Adams score me close to 30, Justin Jefferson only scored me 13, and DK Metcalf only scored me 2.3. Jamison Crowder, I felt, had a decent chance to do something against Houston, and he only had 1.5 points. But it doesn't really matter because anybody on my bench wouldn't have done a better job, really. And there's no way I would have won this game. The Chimps, man, staying alive at 6-6. He's got a big game this week. If he wins, he's probably in the playoffs. But Jalen Hurts, he started him in 3.8. Not a good score. So I felt very confident because you see that score from your from the opponent's quarterback, and you get pretty confident about your chances of winning. Yeah, but it didn't work out. Dalvin Cook got hurt. That sucks. It's a bit major blow for his squad. Only scored him 13.3. Then Cortland Sutton 3.7. Terry McLaurin 9.10. Mark Andrews 27, major score from him, and then Tony Pollard 17.8 and his flex. So super low scoring game. But the Chimps, as he's often done this year, he squeaks it out, man. Somehow he finds a way and he gets the victory. He's 6-6, still in the hunt, and the Fart Hounds are obviously out of playoff contention. So let's take a look at the standings, boys. The Earth Division, you see Dem Lions, who is 7-5. There's no way he can lose the division at this point. He's making it through. Even if he loses this week, I believe. Right? Right.
Yeah, even if he loses.
Yeah.
The Chimps, 6-6. Oh, Dem Lions has 1993.5 points scored. The Chimps have 1822.5. Then it's Vino Papi at 5-7 with 2003 points on the year. And finally, the Fart Hounds, 4-8 with 1930. So interesting division. We got a huge matchup between the Chimps and Vino Papi this week. Major playoff implications there, not only for these two teams, but other teams in the league. The Win Division, over easy, 8-4. She is clinched. She's good. Then it's the Golden Dragons at 6-6, 26 points scored. And then the Bad Hombres also 6-6, 1862.6 points scored. And the Muff Vipers 5-7, 1875.5 points scored. Very interesting division, especially for Golden Dragons and Bad Hombres, which is what I've been talking about this entire episode. And then the Fire Division, Flint Tropic sits atop right now at 7-5. He's 1998 points scored. And it's your Culon Santo, 7-5 as well. 1934 points scored. And then the Bangkok Ladyboys fell to 6-6, and he has 45 points scored, the most in the league. And that's a heartbreaker, but if he gets it done this week,
yeah,
he's solid. The Gridiron Throne, 5-7, 1845 points scored. So let's have a look now at the playoff picture currently, and this will change. Right now, the 1 seed is over easy. She has a bye. On the other side, you have Flint Tropics, who has a bye. And then the wild card game would be Culon Santo versus the Bangkok Ladyboys currently. And on the other wild card matchup, we have the Golden Dragons and Dem Lions. But this is 100% going to change.
Yeah.
This is just what it looks like right now at the moment. But we'll talk about, next week's matchups at the end of the show. It's good, man. This is great. This is huge. There's so many. I feel like everyone feels like they need to win except for me and Mike. Everyone else is just like, there's still there's still a chance for me to make it. I just have to win this week. Right?
Yeah. But hey, we're not stressing this week.
So no, we're not stressing. We're just out here having fun now, dude.
Yeah.
Chris isn't here, so Michael's corner.
All right. So we'll start off with Chris's favorite favorite segment. Who the fuck is that guy? Had some trouble identifying a candidate for this segment, but thanks to Marlon, he pointed out Mr. Ronnie Harrison. I almost mispronounced his name. Ronnie Harrison. He's a Cleveland safety. He had 14 tackles this week, and he put up some points. So, who the fuck is that guy? All right, we had a few bed shitters, but I'm gonna just highlight 2 of them this week. Brady, because he, it wouldn't have made a difference if he had a monster game, but he's this past week, but he still put up a very shitty week for me. So he's one of my bed shitters this week. And the other one I'm gonna highlight is DK Metcalf, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would have been mad if you wouldn't have, for this honor.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's entirely on him, because I think he only got like 1 or 2 targets that game, which is fucking inexplicable, like for the Seahawks not to target that guy.
Yeah, Jose and I were talking about this earlier. We were playing video games and we're talking about it. But yeah, man, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like DK Metcalf, huge season last year. The dude's just a physical specimen. You're trailing, get him the ball, you know?
Yeah, so those are the bed shitters this week. Only one squanderer this week, only one true squanderer. That is the Ladyboys, man. They could have made a number of adjustments to their roster this past week, and they would have gotten the win. But they picked who they picked, and they lost as a result.
Yeah,
Marlon, you're happy about that, huh?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I was super upset because I had, like I mentioned earlier, I had a shit ton writing on my IDP, because this was supposed to be like, I mean, Roquan Smith has been getting me a shit ton of points every single week, and against the Lions, I was thinking for sure this is going to be over 30 points because he's done that on multiple occasions over the last few weeks. And then bam, he gets injured, and all I get is 9 fucking points out of him, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna lose this hard. but you know, the stars aligned, not for the lady boys, but for me. And
for somebody.
Yeah, and yeah, man. I'm but if he would have made one, like a single switch.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's just like the lady boys have had such a wild season. He's put up some monstrous numbers. Yeah. And there have been times where his team kind of underperforms. Didn't this week though. He had a solid score. But he might not make the playoffs, man. And that's just a wild kind of thing to think about. He's had some great performances all season, and just for him to not make the playoffs, it's just kind of hard to wrap my head around. But like as he said, man, talk shit, get hit.
And he's talked a lot of shit. So yeah, Marlon, you were the beneficiary of a squandering this week. So who are we pouring them out for this week? I got three names, but y'all can throw some out if y'all want to. First one, Chris is gonna feel this one the most. It's Christian McCaffrey, dude.
That's the big one.
Yeah, it's the big one.
Out again.
Out again. He went out this season, came back, and he's out again for the remainder of the season. And I would say this, puts a question mark on the rest of his career, man, because one, he's a running back. Running backs have shorter careers than probably any other position in the league. And you've seen it over and over again. A devastating injury for a running back is just, it's so hard to come back from. Look at like Saquon Barkley, coming in and out of games, these last couple of years. So first overall pick in our dynasty draft. And, I don't know how many seasons Chris is going to get out of him. So we're pouring him out for Christian McCaffrey.
It just seems like most times it's not an if, it's a when with running backs, right? When are they going to get injured?
Yeah.
Gonna, kind of start going downhill for them. And I'm not saying that's happening for Christian McCaffrey necessarily, but I'm just saying that, this is a common thing with running backs. And hopefully that's not the case with Christian McCaffrey, because he's still pretty young, but yeah, running backs have a shelf life, man. And it's just rough.
And this is what his like fourth season, third or fourth?
Mm-hmm. Fourth season, I believe.
Fourth. Okay. Also wanted to pour one out for Deebo Samuel. I don't think his injury is too extensive, but he did get injured, and I felt that one. And DeAndre Swift, man, another injury this week. So many injuries this week, but can't name them all.
Dalvin Cook,
yeah.
Dalvin Cook, a big one too, man.
Yeah. But and Marlon just mentioned Roquan Smith as well. So man, we could pour him out all day. And this honor for Dem Lions this week. They are the no talent pussy of the week, which is, this might be their first time ever. I
think he's gotten it once before.
Yeah, maybe once before.
Don't quote me on that, but I think he may have gotten it once.
Yeah, but very uncommon for his name to be, called during this segment. So cherish it while you can.
Hey man, I will tell you what. I got the worst record in the league, but I have not been the no talent pussy not once this season. It's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
it is.
And then the big cock on the block, man. Flint Tropics, keeping his season alive. Even more than alive, I should say. Like, roaring back to the top of the division this past week. So, 208 points, nothing to scoff at all.
Yeah, he had a huge game.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, man. Flint Tropics looking pretty right now. Let's get into the week 13 matchups. First one, we're going back to you, Mike. Gridiron Throne 5-7, playing against the Lady Boys. Mike, like we talked about, you have virtually no chance of making it, but are you looking forward to playing the spoiler this week?
It'd be nice. I don't see it happening. But
it's funny.
Yeah, I beat Vu earlier this season, so it'd be nice to sweep, but
I was hey, celebrating sweeps are a thing in the league now.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
it's an achievement.
I was waiting for Jose's reaction to this because Jose needs you to beat
Yeah.
Lady Boys in
I
order
was just
for
gonna
him
say
to
this
make-
is one of the many pieces that I need to
Yeah.
happen. It's actually probably the final piece, probably the hardest piece
Yeah.
in order for me to make playoffs.
Hey, there. The voice of our generation, Adele, came out with a new album a couple weeks ago, and one of her lyrics is "Let it be known that I tried." You know, Jose, let it be known that I tried.
Well, put in a new flex, so I know you really tried.
All right.
But yeah, man. Well, I'll get into it for some of the others. But you're one of the main, one of the three things I need to happen.
So let's go with picks. We don't have the percentages. We're kind of off right now, boys. Everybody and girl in the league. It's been a super busy week, couple of weeks. So we don't have the percentages on predictions, but let's make predictions for this matchup. I guess Mike, we'll wait for you to go last. I'll start off. I think, dude, you know what, man? Mike, I'm gonna go with you, bro. And maybe that means that Lady Boys is gonna win because he says every time we choose against him, he wins. But I just feel like there's an upset here, man. I just feel like I don't have any. I'm not gonna make any analysis here, man. I just feel there's just like this stench in the air that just it just smells like upset, dude. So I'm gonna go with the Gridiron Throne pulling this one and keeping Lady Boys out of the playoffs. And hey, maybe this is what Lady Boys wants. Maybe he'll make the playoffs because I'm choosing against him.
I think. I think that the fantasy gods smiled on Marlon last week, and I think they're gonna smile on you this week.
Yeah.
And they were both against Vu, so who knows? But I'm gonna go with you, man. I same thing. To Tom's point, man. No really analysis to be made. I think, I think you're gonna pull this over, and it's probably gonna be one of the biggest upsets of the year
in league history. No, I'm just kidding.
In the league.
I can feel it coming.
I mean, hey, Mike, I'm okay. So I'm going to make some analysis now, right? I'm just not going to leave it at that. Tom Brady and Joe Mixon have fantastic matchups.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, I mean, I think those two guys, they can have some major games. Lady Boys is starting Derek Carr, which, I mean, he's not the sexy pick, but he can get it done.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor against Houston.
Yeah,
though.
I was going to say that's going to be a feast right there. It could be a feast.
Absolutely, man. So you're just kind of expecting Jonathan Taylor to go off. It's just the rest of his squad that you kind of just have to wait and see, right?
Yeah. And I'm curious to see how Tyler Higbee does. I don't want to give too much analysis before Marlon gives his pick, though.
No, I was saying that I feel like the Lady Boys, I guess on paper, have the advantage. You look at the matchups across the board, but is it going to pan out the way that we intended? I mean, we saw how
sometimes it's about heart, right?
Yeah. So we saw how Washington treated Russell Wilson and staff. So I don't know, man. I'm going to give it to you, Mike, because I believe in you and I want you to knock the Lady Boys down. I'd rather see Jose in the playoffs against me than the Lady Boys as it's currently mapped.
Hey, well, I'm rooting for myself this week too, but if I'm being if I'm more concerned about my prediction percentage, I'm going with the Lady Boys this week.
At least I think when I say the fantasy gods will smile on you, I think it's gonna. Jonathan Taylor's really the only thing you have to worry about. But I think Derek Carr has a history of shooting the bed against supposedly easy matchups. If you go back and look at his games throughout this season and last season, he has really good matchups, and somehow they just find a way to.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's true.
So and you have Tom Brady, so I think you'll make up a lot of points there, and. Antonio Gibson hasn't really done anything this whole season, and so I think He's
He
had
had a
few, like,
34-point game last week.
Yeah.
No, I know. No, that's what I meant. Like, it was just like he hasn't really done anything crazy like that, the whole season except last week. So I don't know if that will.
He's had a
again.
fracture in his legs. I think it's like a fractured fibula or something. But he had
Yeah.
the bye week and he's looked good since then. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be close, man. Honestly, looking at the games, I don't feel like it's as, I don't think it's a 20-point stretch like Sleeper has it here. I think it's going to be closer, but like I said, I'm still choosing the Gridiron Throne.
Appreciate it.
Cool. So that's 3-1. Mike is the one voting against himself. Cool. Bino Papi is the next matchup. He's 5-7. He's going up against the Chimps. He needs to win. You need to win this game, Jose. You also need, like we talked about, Gridiron Throne to beat the Lady Boys. And what's the final chip?
So I need to obviously win this. I need Mike to win this, and then I need the Bad Hombres to beat the Golden Dragons, because then I'll get the head-to-head against the Golden Dragons since I beat them earlier this year.
Okay.
Yes. So what's going to happen is two of those things are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there is one more thing too.
Oh shit.
As another,
Not only do you need to win, not only do you need to beat Lady Boys, but I need to outscore Lady Boys too, because Lady Boys is number 1 in terms of points. Then it's Golden Dragons. Then it's me.
Oh,
I also need to make sure I get
right.
score too.
Hey, come chill with me and Mike.
Right.
Here. Bro. We got some great wine.
Yeah.
It ain't by much, man.
We got some great vino down here.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Didn't we have a vino in the cellar last year kind of thing? I don't remember, dude. Yeah, I think you're gonna get the victory, man. I'm going vino this week. But you look at the Chimp squad, and he has one of those teams that just kind of like Flint Tropics almost just kind of gets it done. Like he just finds a way to win, and he's got Mahomes against Denver. It's a divisional opponent, so I'm expecting him. I know it's a tougher matchup, but I'm expecting him to have a pretty good score.
Yeah, he's kind of bounced back somewhat these last few weeks. He's
definitely
putting up more Mahomes games.
He really has. And then, you look, he had that injury to Dalvin Cook, but he put Pollard in there, and Pollard scored 18.4 for him. So that's solid. You're not expecting that from Pollard.
For a backup.
Yeah, 100%. He has Melvin Gordon, who's probably not going to play in his flex spot right now. So, it's interesting to see what he's going to do there. And then you look at Jose's squad on the other side of things. You have Javonte Williams, who is going to get all the carries because Gordon isn't going to be there. So that's great news for you. And you have Josh Allen against New England. Going to be a tough matchup, but I think he's going to be okay there. James Robinson, I don't know about him and the Rams, dude, but I think Stephon Diggs is going to be okay because Allen's going to be okay. Devontae Smith is going to be okay against the Jets. And Ayuk against Seattle. I think that might be potentially.
Ayuk's been getting more involved with the team
100%,
in terms of targets and production. So,
and we're recording this on a Friday evening, so the Thursday game has already gone through, and the Cowboys scored you 18 points, dude. So I think that's kind of what's swaying me in your direction. I just feel like your matchups are solid, not great, but they're good. And I think. You're going to be okay, especially with him. I don't know what he's going to do in that flex spot. It's going to be tough for him to kind of to find someone to fill that void.
Yeah, Jose, I got you this week, man. You're my pick this week.
Thank you, sir. Who you got,
Jose? I mean, the Cowboys' performance aside, who does he really have to put in against to put in Melvin Gordon's place that's going to make like a huge impact?
Yeah,
you might roll the dice and maybe Hilton against Houston.
Hilton loves play Houston, dude,
especially in Houston.
Yeah,
but I mean, last time they were. Throughout the season, you don't have like a huge performance from T.Y. Hilton. I mean, does he?
No.
He's got. I mean, so who does he have to pivot to? And I mean, granted, he's got Patrick Mahomes who can potentially have like a big. He poses a big potential threat. His ceiling is super high, but also he's not been having that consistency across like the matchups that you would expect. You know what I mean? Like. He'll go up against an easy team and score super shitty. And so I don't know. I mean, for all those factors, I'm giving you the advantage. So yeah, my vote's with you.
I'll speak myself. Like I said, I need this to happen.
A little long-winded. Sorry.
Yes, I'm also picking myself. Although, fun fact, I heard this in a podcast the other day. If he does decide to flex T.Y. Hilton in that flex spot, do you know T.Y. Hilton has 75% of his career yards against Houston Texans?
That's crazy.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Isn't that insane, dude? For some reason, he waits till to the Houston game.
So I was saying he loves playing against Houston.
Nuclear.
I think Mike, you and I went to a Houston Indianapolis game.
Didn't he have like 3 touchdowns or something like
5
that?
or 6 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilton torched Houston, dude. It was ridiculous. It was sad. And I had to sadly eat Taco Cabana after that. Remember, Mike?
Yeah, we walked over.
Yeah, ass whipping. So is that a sweep?
I believe so, yeah.
Right on. Next matchup, Goulon Santo. This is the biggest match of the week. Goulon Santo at 7-5, Flint Tropics 7-5. As it stands, Flint Tropics has the bye right now, but Goulon, you're looking to get that division win, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I want the. Not gonna lie, I want the bye. No, I don't want to buy. I'm not gonna get the buy, but yeah, I want that top position, man. I want it.
Having said that, dude, I kind of maybe we should start keeping track of division championships, dude. You know,
we should.
That's kind of a cool kind of stat. Maybe you get I give helmets out
banner,
to the league.
Get a little banner.
Yeah, a pennant, a little pennant. I give helmets out along with the trophy for a year to the champions. But maybe I could start doing something for division winners as well. That'd be kind of cool. We have to kind of go back in history and see who won the division all these years. Anyways,
so you guys are safely in the playoffs, but you're playing for pride here, bro.
Well, you know that me and Flint have this thing, and I don't think I've ever met him. I think I saw him at your wedding,
and I didn't like him.
But just the look,
something about him.
Something about him rubbed me the wrong way.
No, I've never met him. I got nothing personally against him. It's just that for some reason, it's just the whenever we go up against each other, I'll have the upper hand against him, and then he'll come up from behind and and rape me. And then
it's a funny story, man. It's funny. Marlon at my wedding was just I didn't know who this guy was, but we made eye contact, and then in that moment, I knew it was Flint Tropics.
Right. I was like, he's here. But yeah, man, I don't know what it is. I just really want this. I really want this win. I know that we're both basically the playoffs, and the position doesn't really matter because we end up playing each other again. But
I think you're playing though. You're potentially playing for a bye spot here.
Oh yeah.
So it's huge. That's massive. You don't want to play a game if you don't have to, right?
Yeah,
true.
Because one of you guys will end up with 8. One of you guys will end up with 8 wins, and that should be good enough for the first or second.
The bye. Yep.
Yeah, the bye.
You
even if. Oh, because
Haley
Lions also has 7-5. 7-5.
Yep.
So hey, if I win and you win, Marlon, you got to buy, man. You're in the second round already.
Boom. But well anyway, so now with that, yes, I want to win, and I want you to win, Tom. But for this one, man, I just really want it for pride. And I think
your pride will be intact
before
this week,
on Wednesday night I was extremely nervous because I saw Dak Prescott against the Saints, and you pretty much plug in Elliott anywhere and he's gonna do well. But I also found myself kind of conflicted because I wanted the Cowboys to also win. So I was praying for the Cowboys to win, and yet for both of those guys to not have great games. And that's exactly how that shit went down.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because it was the Cowboys defense that won him the game.
Yeah. And so
well.
yeah, so after that, I'm hoping that Kyler has a great game despite him being, still a little shaky on his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that he finally comes back and it has all that stored up arm juice left in him and he throws like crazy.
Yeah.
And Cordero Patterson, man, I want him also to have a great game. He's one of those guys that can have like an awesome game, or he can have just a normal game. But I need him to kind of have an awesome game to kind of pull me ahead.
Yeah.
With enough leg room to overcome the potential upsets of his backup guys. Although I'm hearing that maybe there's a possibility that Josh Jacobs is injured, which might be good, but he's got backup guys for days.
Go ahead, Mike. You got it.
I was just gonna say, Marlon, I'm picking you this week. I think if obviously with the benefit of having the game the game last night has already happened, so we see what happened there. But he got 20 points from his quarterback and his top running back. So 20 points from those two positions combined is not very good. So if you lose this week, Marlon, I think it's only because your team had a really shitty week. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm picking you this week, bro.
Yeah, same reason. I was going to say the exact same thing. He had a collective 20 points from Prescott and Elliott. It's hard to kind of dig yourself out of that's a pretty big hole for Flint. And his score projection took a major hit with that. And yeah, man, I think you get the victory here. And just another note, I remember maybe first or second year in the league, dude, just adding to this rivalry kind of thing is just like, I was like, who the fuck is Flint, man? This guy he keeps beating me. I mean, Marlon used to sit like 2 cubes behind me. We used to work together. He's like, who's this guy, man? So I know this is a huge one, man. Like that bye week is so important. And I got you, Marlon.
Same, bro. I got you, Marlon. Like you said, the game's already been played, and this just looks already, well within your favor. Also, dude, Cordell Patterson's just been doing some insane things this year, out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't even know. I didn't even know this before this year too. I just happened to be looking up some random stats. Cordell Patterson also has like the longest kickoff return, I think, in NFL history. I think it's kickoff or punt return, one of them. But that aside, he's just been doing some insane things, fantasy-wise, at least, and he's just killing it. So. And
Marlon, you get Kyler back, so that should be a great boost for your squad. So
yeah, I'm hoping that he's like antsy from sitting on the sidelines for what 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
So
he's had a month off. He'll be fine. I think he could have played the week before his bye week, but they just wanted to give him that extra week just to fully recuperate.
And he's still like marked as a big questionable, like a game time decision.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna play.
It still makes me nervous, but even then I can pivot to Bridgewater.
Yeah. So Marlon, you picked yourself. So is that a sweep then?
Also sweep.
Yeah.
Another sweep here.
It's a huge game, dude. I know it's not for a playoff spot because both teams made it, but like I said, huge matchup. The next matchup is for a playoff spot. Maybe this one is. Maybe you guys are tied for the biggest game, dude. You got the Golden Dragon 6-6, the Bad Hombre 6-6. Hombre's kind of taking a slide. Chris is kind of sliding a little bit on a 2-game losing streak, and the Dragons had a big game last week. Very interesting at Bad Hombres right now with the game that just happened this past week. He had 22.2 from CD Lamb, so I know that's great for his squad. Who are you guys looking at taking this one?
This one's a hard one to predict. The projections are obviously really close. I think it's like projected to be a 4-point game. I can see it going either way, but I think if I flip the coin, I'm gonna land on the Bad Hombres this week for a couple of reasons. One is the Dragons are starting K Bourne again.
Kendall Bourne.
Yeah. I don't
Kendrick.
see him.
His name's not Kendrick.
Yeah. Mr. Bourne again.
Mr. Bourne.
I don't see him striking, lightning striking twice in terms of like his fantasy performance, having a second big week in a row. I don't see that happening. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening. And then The other thing is their quarterback matchups. Matthew Stafford, he's had a couple of down weeks, but I think he's going to bounce back against Jacksonville. And Jimmy Garoppolo is playing the Seahawks, and those divisional games, the games between the Niners and Seahawks always turn out to be like dogfights, and I think that could be a low-scoring game. So for those reasons, I'm going with the bad hombres this week.
I 100%. Again, Mike, you kind of stole what I was going to say. You kind of went down the list, and the main reason, and Chris, if Chris wins this, he gets the sweep, right? He throws a parade.
Yeah.
And he makes the playoffs. And the main reason is because, like you said, he's starting Kendrick Bourne. So if Chris wins, he gets the victory because he beats someone who started Kendrick Bourne. So that means he's supreme. He has the Bourne supremacy.
Yeah, I'm also going with bad hombres.
I'll go for it. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm also going with bad hombres. Quarterback thing to me, Jimmy Garoppolo's only made the over like 51, 52-ish% of the time where he scored over his projected fantasy value in the whole season. And when he hasn't hit that over, he scores significantly lower. I think this is going to be one of those weeks. Kendrick Bourne, I think he's chasing points there. I mean, nothing much else to say. As far as the Pittsburgh thing, it was a Deontay Johnson week last week. He did, I guess, okay. But I also don't think that's going to happen this year. I think Pittsburgh and Baltimore have a pretty decent rivalry, and I think they're going to lock down Johnson, to the best of their ability. And I also said earlier today, really hoping Bad Hombres pulls this over.
For the same reason, I mean, same reasons. I got Chris as well. Yeah. I mean, the last time that the 49ers played the Seahawks, Garoppolo just scored like. Yeah. I don't think he even got like over 12 points or something. It was something super low. Yeah. And then that was at home. Now they're gonna, he's playing up in Seattle.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, dude. I don't know if you can really truly trust Garoppolo. And who knows, maybe he goes on and has a great game, but I don't think you can ever trust Garoppolo. And so I think Golden Dragons is definitely missing Rodgers this week. It's a huge week for him.
Yeah, it's a tough week to have a bye.
Especially at the QB position like that.
Sweep? Another sweep. Yeah, another sweep.
All righty. Another win division matchup over easy, 8-4. The Muff Vipers 5-7. Not really much here. This is just one of those games just to you got to finish out the season, right?
Yeah.
Muff Vipers is out, so
she's in good position to get a bye even if she loses this week. Obviously it'll be better for her to win and really lock it up, but
get the 1 seed.
Yeah, get the 1 seed
for seeding purposes.
Yeah. But even if she loses, she's in good shape. And I don't think I see her losing this week. I'm taking a look at the roster real quick.
It's going to be close, I think. And Muff Vipers had an impressive performance last week. Herbert's going up against Cincinnati. Decent matchup. Russell Wilson against San Francisco. Russell has to get something going. Maybe this is the week he kind of bounces back. He's at home. Godwin against Atlanta. He had a tough matchup or a tough week last week. Didn't get it done. And Pittman against Houston. I think those two receivers are going to have good games. And Gesicki against the Giants. And Tyreek Hill against Denver, man. I think Tyreek, he's always kind of one of those, he's a spark perhaps. And he can, he just booms. So it's a tough one, dude. I really feel like it's going to be super close. Vipers. I just don't feel like Barkley is going to have that 17 points he's predicted to get. And Jamar Chase against a tough defense. I don't think he's going to be completely shut out, but I don't know if he's going to have a monstrous game against the Chargers. So I'm going to have to go with over easy.
Yeah, I'm going over easy, same.
Ooh, breaking news. I also have to go with over easy because I just realized that's also something else I need to happen in the playoffs. He's 5-7, and he did beat me earlier in the year, which means he would have the head-to-head. So
That sucks, man. Because even if Chris won, even if Bad Hombres won, and what else did you need to happen?
Yeah.
So I need
So
I need
this is the
myself
most
to win. I need Haley to beat the Muff
no, but
Vipers. I need
even
Chris to
if
beat
all that other
Logan.
stuff happened, even if you won, if the Muff Vipers win, you're out, and you've scored way more points than him.
I
but
know,
that
that's what's
head-to-head
insane.
goes
But
to
you know
him.
what's crazy is that even if he wins, he has no shot at playoffs.
Yeah, he just keeps you out.
But he'll just kick my ass out.
So you're saying there's a chance?
He has
Right.
something to play for.
Yeah, right. So yeah.
Oh man.
I'm also going with the over easy. I hope she pulls out.
Damn, dude, you're just like needing the perfect storm to become even more perfecter, dude. It's crazy.
I mean, that would be wild to come back from this insane season I've had. So
I'm gonna have to give it to over easy as well. Yeah. Although if Leonard Fournette has a massive game like he did last week.
Yeah, he does have a good matchup as well. But I think Brady's going to want to sling it a little bit this week.
Yeah.
To make up.
yeah, Brady went off for almost 50 points last time they played Atlanta. I think he's going to have some fun. He's going to do the same thing again this week, which means
he likes to.
not going to be getting.
He likes to fuck Atlanta.
Hey, is that a sweep or what?
Yeah,
Another one.
bro.
Sweep.
It's like what, 4 sweeps this week?
Yep. 4 out of 5.
So the last matchup is the Shart Hounds, the Stinky Pups, who are 4-8, worst team in the league, going up against them Lions, 7-5. That's my matchup. Honestly, man, for me, it's difficult. I have obviously Swift is out injured this week, so that's going to be very difficult for me to kind of. And also, Devontae Adams is out on bye, so with those two players out, I had to start Callaway in the flex, and he only got me 2.3 points on Thursday. Difficult, man. I mean, you never know. Maybe Lamar actually has a really good game, and James Conner and DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson do their thing. TJ Hawkinson. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Like, it's not a for sure thing that I'm losing, but I'm going to have to go with them Lions this week. I just feel like, with those two major players out for me, it's going to be very difficult for me. He has Carson Wentz against Houston, Henderson against Jacksonville, Cooper Kupp against Jacksonville. He's got some good matchups.
Yeah, I'm making the same pick.
Go for it. You picking him?
Yeah.
All right. I'm picking you, Tom. Talk about the stars aligning. Some crazy stuff to happen this week with all the matchup we've been predicting. I think even though he's going back to Wentz as opposed to.
What are you trying to do here, Jose? What are you trying to do? I'm just kidding.
No, man, I'm just saying. I'm going with you. I think because not only that, but like if Houston pulled off this. Who they play against? Was it
Titans?
The Titans, right? Yeah, where they had some crazy up. It can happen, man. And
are you calling me the Houston Texans right now?
What's up?
Are you calling me the Houston Texans?
No, I'm saying the Houston Texans pull something over
the Houston Texans can beat the Titans. You can beat them Lions.
No, because they're playing against Indianapolis. So I'm saying if they can do that against the Titans, right. and they were playing pretty solid.
Listen, Tom.
Hey man, just like the Houston Texans, bro. There's a chance.
Listen, man, anything is possible. God damn.
No, but so besides that, also Thielen's super spotty, and then Kupp just hasn't. He's been getting the targets have been fairly consistent these past couple of weeks, but it hasn't been nowhere near what he's been doing earlier this season.
Yeah, they've had a couple down weeks.
Yeah, so I think the stars are gonna align, man. And I think you're gonna also pull this upset.
Marlon.
Sorry, I'm writing down. Who's got who?
Yeah, it's not your percentages, Jose. I mean,
not if the stars align, bro.
You were in the lead, dude.
Not if the stars align, bro.
You know what? I'm probably gonna kiss my percentage goodbye, but I think the stars are gonna align.
They don't need to anymore, man. Like I don't need them to.
Yeah. What are they aligning for?
By golly, if the Texans
so
can
that
beat the Titans,
if anything, so that you can have your Houston Texans story.
God damn.
Comeback kid.
Titans, bro.
I mean, I don't even know if it does anything for seeding purposes. I haven't looked at seeding purposes in the losers bracket, consolation bracket, in the first round draft pick bracket. Maybe that helps me out a little bit.
Well, if you win and Haley loses, I think you help her out that way.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm still laughing.
Yeah, so I need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know where Jose was going with that.
Actually, yeah. If you, I'm looking at the thing because the all other 2, 7, and 5 teams are Marlin and Flint, and so one of them will obviously be
cancel. Yeah, they're
so,
out. Yeah.
So yeah, actually, you do have something to play for, Tom.
Yeah.
All right. So 4 out of 6
for your wife's seating.
It's for your wife's seating.
Yeah, you need to beat him, Tom.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one. If the Texans can do it, Tom.
You can.
All right, guys. That's this week's matchups. Huge week, massive week, most important week of the season until we get into playoffs. So much to play for a lot of teams, and we'll see how it goes, boys. That's week 13. Good luck to all you guys, and we'll catch you next week.
Later.
Peace.